I overslept.
Oh, everyone is sleeping these days too much.
As here in Saudi Arabia, it's very different from Egypt. We stay up until dawn and then sleep.
Well, even Egyptians actually, nobody shows up. So it's not about the country, it's about potential. And someone who is interested and someone who's not, someone who's available, someone who's not. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm so sorry. I'm so interested, but you know, the lifestyle here is very different, especially in the quarantine time.
yes.
We are locked in our houses here. We can't go out.
Yes. I'm gonna share the link so that if we have someone who wants to join us, yeah, although I have announced the time of the class, but people seem to, you know, you need to remind them, they forget over time.
Okay.
I'm just gonna share the link and start the presentation. Yes.
So tonight, inshallah, I'm going to try to prepare my presentation. Okay. Once I'm ready, I'll tell you. Okay.
Of course. Just tell me the time and the date. But
okay.
it should be sooner because I have classes. Actually, I was given a class to a kid.
Yes.
About 1 hour ago. So yeah, everything is like on the time clock. So try to be potential, always come on time, no matter what happens.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, tonight, inshallah, I'm gonna prepare my presentation. 1.4, I think, evaluation.
Evaluating text, and also to prepare your topic very good or very well.
Yes.
You need
fact and opinion.
Okay, I'm gonna open the camera. All right, in order to prepare your class well, you need to read from the reference, but only not reading from the reference. You need to search online, search on YouTube about the topic, so that you get an idea.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, sir.
Because sometimes
yeah.
Sometimes the references don't tell you everything.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to share a screen right now. Share a screen.
Okay. Zaki.
Sorry, do you have any question?
Yes. No questions. But hello, yeah. Can you hear me, Mr. Zaki?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Pretty well.
Okay.
So we talked about all these things before. Plagiarizing. We're gonna start.
Yes, I already watched. I watched the video on YouTube channel.
Yeah, this is new. This is gonna be new. Listen, May 4th, 2020. All right. What makes the difference between plagiarized and acceptable work? List your ideas below. What do you think? What is the difference between plagiarized and acceptable work? You have 10 seconds to think about it and to tell me what is your opinion. So have you thought about it? Do you know what plagiarized means?
Yes, plagiarized means when you, for example, take someone's ideas without referring to the source or the author.
Yeah, not only
And
that, but you need to paraphrase his words, not identical. Don't
yes,
copy identical words. Yes.
Yes, that's it. And if you want to mention someone's ideas, you have to put it into quotations.
Quotations, exactly, to say that these are not yours, they're his or theirs. Yes. Acceptable
Yes.
work is some vocabulary kept from the original, new sentence structure, use of summary, and paraphrase. Plagiarized means many phrases retained from the original, the same, minor paraphrasing, very little, and identical sentence structure. So these are called plagiarized. Our topic today is actually from titles to outlines. Most written works begins with a title, and students must be quite clear what the question or what the title is asking them to write about. What is the main topic? What is the main idea of their paragraph or their essay?
Yes.
So
I think the main idea should be contained in a topic sentence.
Yeah, we call it thesis statement.
Yes.
So the main idea, strong idea of the essay. When preparing to write an essay, it is the essential to identify the main requirements of the title. You must be clear about what areas your teachers want you to cover. So these are called organization of the essay.
And you have also to stick to the main idea.
Yeah.
And don't deviate. Yes.
The topic sentence, and we have supportive sentences. So the organization of the essay should be like the introduction, okay? Then you have the main body or the main paragraphs. Then you have the conclusion at the end. For example, the state should play no part in the organization of industry. Discuss. So the key word here is discuss. Discussing involves examining the benefits and drawbacks of something. The benefits or advantages and disadvantages of something. So when the teacher says discuss, he wants you to compare or he wants you to write about advantages and disadvantages about the topic. All right, here's an exercise. Underline the key words in the following titles and consider what they are asking you to do. These are the sentences or the titles. Define information technology, IT, and outline its main applications in medicine. Compare and contrast the appeal process in the legal systems of Britain and the USA. Evaluate the effect of mergers in the industry in the last 10 years. Trace the development of primary education in one country. Illustrate some of the issues currently facing this sector. So what do you think are the key words of the following titles?
I think the first one, the key word here, application of technology in medicine.
It is defined. The key word is defined. We are talking about the title now. What are you going to do with the title? So think about that. This is a title, and I want to do something. What I'm asked to do, I'm going to define something. So the key word here is define. What else? We have outline. So we have define and outline.
Yes.
The second one, compare and
compare. Yes, compare. Yes, contrast. Compare and contrast.
So these are the two keywords in the title that we need to focus our title or the paragraphs that we're going to write. We need to know exactly what we're going to do. The third one is the effect.
Evaluate.
So we have evaluate.
The effect.
Yeah. Evaluate is the keyword.
Yes. Yes.
Trace the development of primary education in one country and illustrate. So we have trace and illustrate.
And illustrate.
So we're going to know exactly what they mean. The title might require 10% of the definition for the definition and 90% for the explanation. So the first one we talk define. Define means give a definition. Define information technology, give me a definition. What is information technology? You can search in Google and read a lot about it and then try to get accurate definition for IT.
I think there is a very important step before writing. You have to read, because writing comes out of reading.
Of course.
If I don't have any information about technology, how can I write about technology? How can I define technology?
Absolutely.
First of all, I should read more about technology.
And not any technology, specific.
Yes.
Specific, the more specific, the better. Outline means describe the main features. So when I say the keywords, define and outline. So define means give a definition. Outline means describe the main features of IT. What can be IT? Give examples. Compare and contrast. Appeal process in the legal systems of Britain and in the USA. So compare means examine the similarities. Compare means examine the similarities. So you have two things you're going to compare. What is the things that are in common between the two? This and this. What is the things in common? How about Ahmad and Muhammad? What are the things in common? Both are human, for example. So this is similarities, things that are in common between the two. When the question says, or the title says, contrast, here he wants you to actually look at the differences. What is the difference between Ahmad and Muna? Ahmad is a man, Muna is a girl. This is for the simplest way to say it. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
C, evaluate the effect. So evaluate means consider the value. What is the value of the mergers in the motor industry? Trace the development of primary education in one country. Illustrate some of the issues currently facing this sector. So trace means describe. Describe the main features. Illustrate, give examples. So describe the main feature of a human. All right, give examples. He has eyes, and so on. So we try to give examples that this human being has eyes, has legs, this is for simple stuff, right? But you can take the same idea, the same concept on a bigger topics. All right, so trace, describe the main features of something. Illustrate means give examples. All right, this is exercise. Think about it. You have 1 to 2 minutes. Think about, we need to match the words on the left with the definitions on the right. The following terms are commonly used in essay titles. The terms on the left. Match the terms to the definitions on the right. You have analyze, describe, examine, state, suggest, summarize. On the right, you have give a clear and simple account, make a proposal and support it, deal with complex subject by giving the main points, divide into sections and discuss each critically, give a detailed account, look at the previous parts and their relations. So the first one, solved. Analyze means look at the various parts and their relationships. You have 1 to 2 minutes to think about it and tell me your answers.
Okay, so examine means give a clear and simple account. State means give a detailed account. Suggest, make a proposal and support it. Summarize, summarize, deal with a complex subject by giving the main points.
All right, so let's see. Describe means give a detailed account. Examine, divide into sections and discuss each critically. State, give a clear and simple account. Suggest, make a proposal and support it. Summarize, deal with complex subject by giving the main points. All these things will be clear later on. We just like introduction to academic English writing. More details will be described in the following. So planning essays. Almost all essays, reports, and articles have the same basic pattern of an organization. Introduction, main body, which is usually huge, and the conclusion. These are, you put the first sentences here, introduction, some sentences for main body, some sentences for conclusion. The structure of the main body depends on what the title is asking you to do. In case of discuss type essay, so if the essay is about discuss the differences or talk about or discuss something, the main body is often divided into 2 parts. The main body is 2 parts. Advantages and disadvantages of the main topic. The main topic. Evaluate the effect of mergers in the motor industry in the last 10 years. So the title is Evaluate the effects of mergers in the motor industry in the last 10 years. The introduction, you're going to include in the introduction definition of a merger, background to motor industry, outline essay. The main body, all right, going to be case studies of 2 mergers, discussion of benefits of each merger, and at the end, the conclusion, summary of findings. Value of mergers depends on the quality of management and merged firm. So we have introduction, main body, conclusion. Introduction, give me a definition, background, outline. Main body, talk about things that are related to the main topic sentence or the main idea, which is merger. So the main body is going to be 2 mergers, talking about different 2
supporting ideas or reasoning.
Exactly.
Standing. Yes.
Exactly. The last one, conclusion. Give me what did you find? Summary of findings. The value of what you're talking about. An outline for the state should play no part in the organization of industry. Discuss. Might look like this. So the outline for this might look like this. So we need to understand first what is the organization of industry. What is a state should play no part in the organization of industry. So we need to understand the title very clear to be able to write about it very clear. Introduction might be talking about economic theories, like the free market. You have your three theories, Marxist, and this one on free market. Disadvantages, state protects workers from exploitation. Advantages, for example, state control does not encourage individual effort. Conclusion, state has a role in protecting weakest, but should not interfere with free enterprise. Teachers often complain that students write essays which do not answer the question set. So you ask them to write about something, they write about something else, just to fill in the blank. You know, that happens a lot because they don't understand what we are talking about. Okay, here's an exercise. Consider the following titles and decide which sections should be included in each essay. So the titles are A, B, C, D. A, describe the growth of the European Union since 1975 and suggest its likely form by 2020. So which two of these four should be included in each essay? Choose two from a short account of European history, analysis of candidates, a discussion of the current economic situation in Europe, a summary of enlargement of the European Union from 1975 to now. What do you think should be the two?
A discussion of the current economic situation in Europe. This is 1. 2. A summary of the enlargement of the EU from it's not clear. From what? Your picture.
Hold on.
Look some words. Yes. Yes, a summary of the enlargement of the EU from 1975 to now. I think these 2 points.
These are the correct answer. Analysis of candidates for membership before 2020. A summary of the enlargement of the European Union from 1975 to now. We can see from the title, describe the growth of the European Union since, meaning the beginning of the time, 1975. From a specific date, not just any date, 1975, and suggest it's likely formed by 2020. By 2020 means by now, right? So a summary of the last one should be chosen. The first one has no relation to the history or the 1900 up to 2000. It's not included in the time frame 1975 to 2020. So the first one should not be included. The third one, discussion of the current economic, this will be now, not the past. Currently, it's now. He wants here to compare between 2 times, 1975 and now. So a discussion of the current economic situation, this means now only, all right? And no relation to the past. Yes. So that's why we choose the first 2. We said before 2020, yes, it could be 1975, before 2020. Okay, so these are the 2 correct answers. Another one, B. Summarize the arguments in favor of privatization and evaluate its record in Britain. Which 2 of these would be correct?
Privatization.
A case study of electricity privatization, analysis of international trends in privatization. Privatization means khaskhasa, okay? Privatization. A study of major privatizations in the UK, a discussion of the benefits achieved by privatization. Case study or analysis or a study or discussion. Which 2 are correct? Summarize the argument.
I think number 1, a study of major privatizations in the UK. This is number one. A discussion of the benefits achieved by privatization. Study of major privatizations in the UK. A discussion of the benefits achieved by privatization.
That's correct. A study of major, yes, and discussion of the benefits. Very good.
Yeah.
C. Consider the following titles and decide which section should be included in each essay. To what extent is tuberculosis a disease of poverty? So tuberculosis is a disease, okay?
Yeah, yes, I know.
So what is the relation between it and to poverty? We have 4, choose 2. Definition of TB, a report on spread of TB worldwide, a case study showing how TB relates to social class, discussion of new methods of treating disease.
Number one, a case study showing how TB relates to social class. This is number one.
What is 2? What is number 2?
The next one. Finishing now. A discussion of new methods of treating.
So the 2 answers here, a report on the spread of TB worldwide, because we say to what extent, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
A case study showing how this disease relates to social class.
Yeah. In order to evaluate the situation, you should report a study all over the world.
Yeah. Related to the world. Since we don't have any specific times, and the study should be related this disease to social class. Social class could be types, right? Poverty could be one of them. People that have poverty are poor class, poor social class. Number D, nursery education is better for children than staying at home with mother. Discuss. Choose 2 of the following. Study of the growth, a report on the development, analysis of the increase of women, a discussion comparing speaking in those groups of children. Education is better for children than staying at home as mother.
I think number 1, a report on the development of children who remain at home until age 5. And the next one, and an analysis of the increase of women in the labor market since 1960.
Is the woman in the labor market related to nursery education?
I think it has a relation because women in the labor market, they don't have time to stay with their children, so they give them to nursery education. They ask some people to stay with them, like nursery education. This is my idea.
Okay, let's see the right answers. So The right answers are a report on the development of children who remain at home until age 5. Yes, we are talking about nursery education. حضانة, okay? Something like this. And the second one, discussion comparing speaking abilities in both groups of children. So we have two types of children, or two groups. Group with nursery education. The other group we are comparing is the group of children that is going to, be with mother. So we have two things to compare. The differences, we have differences, we have maybe similarities.
Yes.
E. We have, I think, Mr. All right, he's gone. He's gone. Okay. We have E. Compare studying in a library with using the internet. Will the former become a redundant? You've got to choose 2 from 4. The benefits of using books, the drawbacks of internet sources, predicted IT developments in the next 15 years, the developments in library services since 1970. Compare studying.
Number one, benefits of using books. This is number 1.
Absolutely. Related to library, yes.
Yes. The second one is the drawbacks of internet sources.
Okay, let's see. The drawbacks of internet sources. The drawback.
Yeah.
Underline the key terms in the following titles and decide what you are being asked to do. You hear me well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, the first one is answered. Example, relate the development of railways to the rise of 19th century European nationalism. So relate, this is a key term in this title. Relate means what? Relate means to link one thing to another. Between the growth of railways in Europe and in the 19th century and the political philosophy of nationalism. The writer must decide if there was a connection or not. Okay. This is yours. Underline the key terms in the following titles and decide what are you being asked to do. A.
The key term or the keyword here is identify. Identify.
Yes. What are you asked to do?
Identify. Identify is the key term here.
Okay.
And it means identify means here.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Means mention. Okay. The causes of rural poverty in China. Mention the main features. Say or write the main features of the causes of the rural poverty in China.
So identify means to select and explain. Select and explain. The writer must identify the chief reasons or the main reasons or the most important reasons for poverty in the Chinese countryside. Countryside, which is rural. Rural.
Yes, rural.
Yes.
villages,
Yeah,
like people who live in.
many reasons and many things that could cause poverty, especially where?
Yeah.
In the countryside. So many reasons, you're gonna actually give me the main reasons of poverty. All right, identify means select. You have many things. So tell me, from all these things, choose something to talk about. Okay.
Yes.
B, calculate the likely change in the coffee consumption that would result from a 10% fall in the price of coffee beans. Calculate the likely change. Coffee
Calculate, this is the key word or the key term here.
Yes, it is.
Calculate means estimate.
So you're going to
Calculate.
put some numbers, maybe?
Yes, yes.
In coffee consumption, consumption means people use coffee.
Yes.
They consume food, coffee, everything. That would result from a 10% fall in the price. So if we change the price of coffee beans from, for example, 90 to 80, right? How this would likely change the consumption of people or people consumption of certain things. We're talking about numbers here, statistics.
Yes, you have to do maths.
Yes, exactly. So calculate means to make mathematical model, mathematical estimate.
Yeah, yes.
Here the writer must look at patterns of coffee, types of coffee, consumption, and attempt to calculate how much difference a price decrease would make. So if we decrease the price to 10%, what is the result of this? If we change the price up, not down, what happened? C, classify the desert regions of Asia and suggest possible approaches to halting their spread. Halting means stopping their spread. So classify
the key word here is, or the key term is classify.
Yes, classify. So what are you being asked to do or write about?
Yes, classify here means to mention the different desert regions in Asia, and mention ways or solutions for halting or stopping the spread, their spread.
You know, I think suggest also could be a key word or key terms.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
it says classify
I think
something and suggest something.
I think classify here means mention the different types of regions, of desert regions, and and how to find solutions or provide solutions for,
and suggest possible approaches to halting their spread. So their spread is a problem. We have here a problem. We need to stop this problem.
Yes. Yes. So
Okay, hold on. Let me just close the timer.
Are we run out of time?
I think, yeah, we have little time.
Okay, no problem.
So classify means put into categories. Different types, as you've said, of desert need to be described. So you need to talk about different types of deserts. You need to read about deserts to know the types of deserts, because here he wants you to classify. And then methods of control should be proposed. How to control the spread of this desert. All right, so that was all for actually this webinar, short webinar. I hope it was useful. I hope we learned.
It has been amazing and useful, Mr. Zaki. You have been amazing.
Thank
You've
you.
provided very useful information, especially with writing. Writing is very important skill for communication.
Absolutely, it is, and we are actually starting to know things. You know, we are starting from the very beginning, from the title.
Yeah.
We haven't discussed
Yes.
it yet. The topic sentence, the supporting ideas, and some different.
Writing is very is important, especially these days. People who want to do the IELTS exam, for example.
Especially academic.
They score high in listening, speaking, and reading, but when they come to writing, they score low.
Absolutely.
So writing is so important.
It is, absolutely. Well, I thank you for attending this webinar. I think the next webinar will be yours, and I'll be just a student. So share it well and tell me the time, and I'm going to share the time. Invite your friends or anybody who is interested in joining our group on Zoom, studying English, academic English writing. What we do is that we study, we summarize, we put in a PowerPoint file, and we try to teach what we understand to each other and try to explain, to think together. It's not one person just talking, but we are mainly talking, thinking together, helping each other. And I hope this idea spread to everyone. Yeah.
This is the best way for learning and teaching.
Exactly.
You know, because you think knowledge. Many people say knowledge is power, but I think knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Knowledge is power when you apply it,
so
when you use it, when you teach it to someone.
You just make a topic right now. All right. So the potential power or this power, knowledge is power. This is the general statement. All right. But you think that, what did you say?
Yeah, when you teach it to someone else, you are going to learn it twice.
Exactly.
So you can form a long-term memory when you teach someone else.
So that could be a thesis statement. Then your body paragraph is going to talk about your thesis statement. Tell me why, give examples, supporting ideas, and then the conclusion, what you want to tell me at the end of your paragraph. So yes, thank you for attending, and for sure we're going to meet again. Good luck.
My pleasure.
See you soon.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
You too, Mr. Zaki. You too. Bye.
Enjoy. Bye.